You are now listening to the Hot
The co-main
Take Hot
event.
Box.
Robert Whittaker, the Reaper, getting in there against Paulo Costa, the Eraser. He has like 7 different nicknames now, so I love it. Borrachina is the underdog here at plus 205, 200. You can get him as low as plus 195. I know that's not exactly what you would want to do. Whittaker is a minus 250 favorite here, big time favorite, Ty. When I saw this, I was a little confused because Whittaker is coming off of a not really devastating, but really just eye-opening, shocking loss to Dricus du Plessis. And I get he's the champion, but I think you would agree in the way it happened. It was just like, wow, like he got power jabbed into oblivion, and he just wasn't taking punches well, and he didn't look like he was able to really manage the distance, and it just didn't look like the Robert Whittaker that we have known since he has become a part of the main event scene. He just didn't look like that same guy, and I don't know if I don't think it has anything to do with age or anything. I don't know, but Paulo Costa on the other side, a literal physical freak, a freak of nature, and just a large gentleman. Hasn't fought since he fought Luke Rockhold in 2022. So it's been over a year.
A year and a half?
Yeah, a year and a half pretty much since he's gotten in there. And that Luke Rockhold fight was a little closer than it probably should have been. He was lined up to... Remember when he was going to fight Chimaev last year? That would have been fucking awesome. He was supposed to fight Aliskerov. That being
would have been
Costa.
also awesome.
Yeah, it always seems like they try to line him up to get killed. But him fighting Whittaker, it seems like the winner of this could definitely get a title shot, especially if it's Costa, because if Dricus is the champion, they would want somewhat of a new blood in there as opposed to running back a rematch where Dricus kind of handled Robert. Ty, I guess I'd like to leave it to you first to try to convince me why I shouldn't take Paulo Costa moneyline.
Well, I think that the layoff is definitely something to note. He seems like more of like a social media influencer nowadays. Like, he's just big on social media, not fighting, but I mean, watching him train, it definitely looks like, he's about it. He's legit. He's in good shape. And I don't know, man. He's supposed to be like a KO artist, but when's the last time he got a KO? Was it 2018 against Uriah Hall? 2018, 2018 against Uriah Hall, who is a known quitter, and before that was Johnny Hendricks, who was, he wasn't on the juice anymore. And Gareth McClellan, he made his debut against. Gareth McClellan, I believe, holds he also has the same birthday as I do, has a win over Dricus du Plessis. Fun fact. So, like, I'm just not convinced on his overall game. I think he's so much bigger and stronger, I think, than Whittaker, who's has fought at 170, doesn't have the long reach, is kind of smallish. He's more predicated on speed, but I think he's starting to slow down a little bit. So that kind of makes me worried about his overall game. And I kind of don't know what's going to go. I don't really have a bet. If I had to take something, it would probably be Whittaker by decision. I don't know if he says he's going to put Paulo Costa out, but when's the last time Robert Whittaker knocked somebody out? Jacare Souza in 2017. So they both have pretty good head kicks. That's something to know. They both have pretty good kicking game in general. Robert Whittaker has really good takedown defense. So does Paulo Costa. So, like, who goes for the takedowns first probably would be Paulo, I think. Even though Whittaker, remember, he had 4 against Izzy, 4 against Kelvin. So I'm not sure. I think I'm kind of unsure in general. I can see how Paulo wins just because I think Whittaker is kind of starting to, wind down in his career. I think he's probably at the tail end. He's lost two of his last 3.
It's only 33, though.
Right, and his losses recently have just been to Izzy and Dricus. Even back in the day when he lost to Wonder Boy and a split to Court McGee way back in the day. I can't even believe Whittaker was fighting in 2013 for UFC. We were in high school, so man, yeah, I think Whittaker wins. That's my pick. I think he just uses the jab, uses his distance, his movement, his speed. I think he's going to be able to negate the big actions, the big movements from Paulo, but also I think he's the better cardio. I don't know if Paulo's always kind of like cardio dumped before,
Yeah.
So, I still am kind of torn just because I don't know. I don't know what we have from either guy. So yeah, I'm gonna go Whittaker decision, but I don't have an official bet.
Nothing on the card. I am going to take Costa TKO plus 400. That number is way too hefty for me to pass on. I don't know how I feel about that wager just in general, but I just and Costa's the kind of guy you don't know what version of him's going to show up. I mean, you remember the Vittori fight? He was supposed to be at 85, then it wound up being like at 205 or 200.
Yeah.
Then they moved it like 6 different times, and then he fought like absolute dog shit, and it was tough. It's and then obviously the Israel fight where he shows up and he's basically drunk during the fight. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? You really don't know what version of what guy's going to show up. Now I know he hasn't knocked the guy out since, like you said, 2018, but he does have 11 knockouts on his record, and I think him being the bigger guy, and if Whittaker's not going to try and push the pace, like I guess he's going to try and push the pace, but maybe take him down, and it's crazy that Whittaker has a longer reach than Costa does, but
Yeah.
I just think that at some point, I don't know if this actually does happen, if the knockout does happen, but I think Whittaker is going to get hurt bad at one point, and I don't know if he's going to be able to recover, because I just did not like the way he was taking those shots in that Driscus fight, and I think I see a lot of power similarities in Paulo Costa and Driscus du Plessis. It's a little bit different, but still, I mean, a jab, a power, they call it a power jab, but it was kind of just a step-in jab, and that fucking wobbled him bad, so I don't know. I'm going to go Paulo Costa TKO plus 400, and now we keep
You
moving.
are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.